My boyfriend of 2 years publicly humiliated me at his birthday dinner, joking about how I was too much of a mess to ever leave him. In front of his friends, he called me clingy, unattractive, and said he was only with me because I was convenient. I sat there stunned, while everyone laughed. That night, I walked away, and he thought I'd never dare to move on. Months later, when I had finally rebuilt myself, he came crawling back only to realize I had already upgraded in every possible way. 2 years. That's how long I had been with Logan, and for 2 years, I thought we were happy. I met him in college, back when I was still figuring my life out. He was that kind of guy who made an impression the second he walked into a room, loud, funny, magnetic. He had this way of making everyone around him feel like they were the most interesting person in the world. And for a long time, I believed I was special because he chose me. Our relationship wasn't perfect, but whose is? He could be dismissive sometimes, brushing off my worries like they were overreactions. He loved attention more than he loved intimacy. But we had history, memories, inside jokes. I told myself those things mattered more than the red flags I kept shoving to the back of my mind. Then came his birthday. It was supposed to be a big night dinner at a trendy new restaurant with all his closest friends. I was excited, nervous even, because I wanted to make it special for him. I had spent days putting together the perfect gift, a framed map of all the places we had traveled to together, with little notes about our best moments in each city. I thought he would love it. I thought a lot of things. We were halfway through dinner when it started. Logan, already a few drinks deep, was laughing with his friends when someone made a joke about relationships, something about how guys always end up trapped. That's when Logan grinned, leaned back in his chair, and said it. Dude, please. You think I'm actually scared of losing her? I mean, where's she gonna go? Who else would put up with her? The table erupted in laughter. My brain didn't process it at first, like I had misheard him, like he couldn't possibly be talking about me. Then he kept going. She's cute and all, but she's kinda a mess, you know? Always worrying about dumb stuff, always needing reassurance. It's like, I do one nice thing, and she acts like I'm Prince Charming. I swear, I could cheat, and she'd probably still take me back. Another round of laughter. I felt like the floor had been ripped out from under me. I looked at Logan, waiting for him to realize what he had just said, to see the look on my face and backtrack. To say it was a joke, a dumb slip-up, anything. But he didn't. He just smirked and took another sip of his drink, and that's when it hit me. He meant it. The laughter, the casual way he dismissed me, the way his friends nodded along it was all real. I wasn't his girlfriend, I was his placeholder. The safe, convenient option. Someone he thought would never, ever leave. The rest of the dinner was a blur. I sat there, silent, while conversations moved on around me. My heart was pounding, my ears ringing. I barely tasted the food. I barely heard anything. I just kept replaying his words over and over again in my head. At some point, the check came. Everyone was still talking, still laughing, but I had already made my decision. I reached into my bag, pulled out my wallet, and dropped enough cash for my meal on the table. Then I stood up. Logan barely glanced at me. Babe, where are you going? I looked at him, really looked at him, and for the first time in 2 years, I saw him for who he really was. Not the charismatic guy I fell for, not the boyfriend I thought loved me, just a boy who never expected to face consequences. I'm leaving, I said. He frowned, like I had just spoken in another language. Relax, it was a joke. It wasn't. And with that, I walked out. No tears, no screaming, no grand exit. Just silence and the realization that I had wasted 2 years of my life on someone who never saw me as an equal. I expected him to follow me, to call, to chase after me. He didn't. And that silence, that was the loudest thing of all. I walked straight out of that restaurant, the warm night air hitting me like a slap. My hands were shaking, my heart still pounding, but I kept moving. I had no idea where I was going, just that I needed to get as far away from Logan and his pack of hyenas as possible. The streets were busy, alive with people laughing and living their lives, completely oblivious to the fact that my world had just been flipped upside down. I felt hollow, like I had just walked out of my own body and left the old version of myself sitting at that table, waiting for Logan to care. He never did. I pulled out my phone and stared at it. No messages, no missed calls, no apologies. 2 years. 2 years of birthday surprises, late night talks, whispered I love yous. 2 years of putting him first, of being there when he needed me, of believing that I mattered. And I had walked away so easily. That should have hurt more, right? Shouldn't I be falling apart, crying in the middle of the sidewalk? But all I felt was this strange, numbing clarity. Like my body had finally caught up to what my brain had been trying to tell me for months. This wasn't just about tonight. This was about the time he jokingly ranked me a 7 or 10 when his friends were rating girls. About the way he always dismissed my accomplishments but hyped up his own. About the way he only really paid attention to me when someone else did first. I had been losing him for a long time. I just hadn't wanted to see it. I called my best friend Emily. She picked up on the second ring. Oh, thank God. Please tell me you're not still at that disaster of a dinner. I let out a shaky breath. I left. There was a pause. Holy shit, are you okay? I think so. It sounded weird saying it out loud, but it was true. I wasn't fine, but I wasn't broken either. Where are you? She asked. I glanced around. I don't know. Just walking. Stay put, I'm coming. Emily showed up 10 minutes later, wearing pajama pants and a sweatshirt that said, "Why not?" She took one look at me, pulled me into a hug, and said, "That motherfucker." And that was all it took. The second I felt her arms around me, my carefully held together emotions cracked wide open. I sobbed. Not the cute, cinematic kind of crying, the messy, ugly, hiccuping kind. The kind where years of frustration, anger, and disappointment all pour out at once and you can't do anything to stop it. Emily held me through it. I swear to God I will burn his entire wardrobe. I laughed through my tears. Not the vintage sneakers. He loves those, especially the vintage sneakers, she said darkly. She took me back to her place, made me tea I didn't drink, and let me rant. I told her everything. Every little moment that had built up to this one. Every time I had ignored my instincts. Every time Logan had made me feel like I was lucky to have him, when really, he should have been the lucky one. When I finally ran out of words, Emily sat back and nodded. So, what's the plan? I blinked at her. Plan? Yeah. Are we gonna go full revenge mode? Do you want to key his car? Steal his dog? Emily. Okay, fine, we won't steal the dog. She sipped her tea. But you're not going to just let him get away with this, right? I shrugged. I already did. I left. She squinted at me like I had just said the dumbest thing in the world. No, walking away is good. Walking away and winning is better. I sighed. Emily, I don't need some dramatic revenge plot. I just need to figure out how to move on. She nodded. Okay, then let's move on. And that was how, in the span of one night, we came up with the glow-up plan. Step 1. Delete every trace of him from my life. Social media, old texts, everything. No more rereading messages like they were love letters. Step 2. Get hot. Not for him, for me. A new wardrobe, a fresh haircut, something that made me feel like I was stepping into my next chapter. Step 3. Actually enjoy being single. No rebound, no rushing into the next thing. Just rediscovering who I was outside of Logan. It sounded stupid. Cliché even. But for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was finally taking control of my own story. And Logan? Logan would be nothing more than a lesson I had learned the hard way. Or so I thought. Because what I didn't know then, what I couldn't have known, was that this wasn't the last time I'd hear from him. Not even close. The next few months were weird. At first, it felt like I was going through a breakup in slow motion. I'd wake up in the morning and have to remind myself, oh yeah, we're not together anymore. My body was still wired to check my phone for his messages. I'd hear a joke and instinctively think, Logan would love that. Except Logan wasn't a part of my life anymore. And for the first time in 2 years, I had to figure out who I was without him. Emily made sure I didn't wallow for too long. The best revenge is leveling up, she declared one night, handing me a cocktail. So what's the move? I did everything. I got a haircut, bought clothes that actually made me feel hot instead of just presentable, started going to the gym not to lose weight, but because I wanted to feel strong. I said yes to plans, went out with friends I hadn't seen in forever, flirted with strangers just for fun, and slowly, day by day, I started feeling lighter. There were no more second-guessing texts, no more waiting for validation from someone who never actually saw me, no more tiptoeing around a relationship that had been dragging me down for way too long. It was liberating. And then Logan showed up. It had been almost 3 months since the breakup. 3 months of complete radio silence. I hadn't texted him, hadn't stalked his Instagram, hadn't even thought about him in weeks. Until one night when I got a text. Logan texted, "Hey, can we talk?" I stared at my phone, my stomach twisted, but not in the way it used to. This wasn't excitement. This was annoyance. I ignored it. 2 hours later, another one. Logan texted, "I miss you." I rolled my eyes so hard I practically sprained something. It was so typical. The moment I was actually happy without him, he suddenly remembered I existed. The next day, Emily and I were at brunch when he texted again. "I saw a picture of you the other day. You look amazing." I snorted. Unbelievable. Emily peeked at my screen. Oh my God, he's doing the wuff. I fucked up, but he'll act like I just randomly thought of you thing. I took a sip of my mimosa. He's about 3 months too late. Are you gonna reply? I thought about it. I could have ignored him, blocked his number, moved on without another word. But I was feeling petty, so I typed back, "Me." "Oh wow, thanks, I've been feeling amazing too." And then I put my phone down and went back to my Eggs Benedict like he wasn't even worth my time. I knew it drove him crazy, because Logan had never expected me to actually move on. He had thought I'd wait, that I'd still be the girl who would take him back after anything. But that girl didn't exist anymore, and he was about to realize just how much things had changed. Logan wasn't used to being ignored. For the first 2 years of our relationship, he had been the center of my world. If he texted, I answered. If he needed something, I showed up. If he did something shitty, I made excuses for him. But now I left him on read, and he hated it. The texts kept coming, so you're just gonna ignore me? We should talk. I want to explain. Do you really not care anymore? The old me would have caved by now, but the new me, she was thriving. I wasn't just over Logan, I was actively enjoying my life without him. I had started seeing someone new. Well, sort of. His name was Jake, and he was the definition of an upgrade. Tall, effortlessly cool, the kind of guy who actually listened when I talked. It wasn't anything serious, but it was fun. And more importantly, it reminded me that I was desirable, that I was wanted. Apparently, Logan noticed, because a week after my casual, totally not intentional Instagram post of me and Jake laughing at a bar, Logan decided to escalate. It started with a grand gesture. One evening, I was heading out with Emily when I saw Logan standing outside my apartment building holding a bouquet of my favorite flowers like we were in some rom-com. Emily groaned. "Oh, come on," I sighed. "He does realize this is not cute, right? You want me to run him over?" She laughed. "He'll be in the car. Call me if you need a getaway driver." I walked over, arms crossed. "Logan, what are you doing here?" His face lit up like he actually thought I'd be happy to see him. I had to see you. I feel like we left things unfinished." I stared at him. We didn't. I walked away. That was the ending. He let out a breath, looking frustrated. "Okay, I know I messed up. I was drunk that night, and I said some things I didn't mean." I arched an eyebrow. "So you're saying you didn't think I was clingy and replaceable?" His jaw tightened. "That's not what I meant." "It's exactly what you meant," I shot back. "You didn't expect me to leave, and when I did, you realized you fucked up. That's on you, Logan, not me." His eyes darkened. "So that's it? You're just moving on?" "Yep." "With him?" I tilted my head. "Oh, you mean Jake?" "Yeah, he's great. Total upgrade." I knew it was petty. I knew it. But the way Logan's entire face shifted from desperation to outright jealousy was delicious. He scoffed. "He won't last. You always come back to me." I smiled sweetly. "That's funny, because I don't even think about you anymore." And with that, I walked away. But Logan wasn't done embarrassing himself. A few nights later, I found out that he had been talking shit about me to his friends. Emily called me, practically vibrating with excitement. "Okay, so don't hate me, but I may have accidentally gone to that party Logan was at." I groaned. "Emily, listen." She took a dramatic breath. "He was wasted. And guess what he was whining about? I already knew. Me. Ding, ding, ding. He was going off about how you moved on too fast, and how you're not even that hot without makeup. And oh, my favorite part, how you owe him an apology for humiliating him at his birthday dinner." I actually burst out laughing. "He humiliated me, and now he thinks I owe him an apology?" Emily snorted. "Men are insane." And then she dropped the bomb. "Oh, and get this, he tried to hook up with some girl. But she shut him down because she saw your glow-up pictures and said she wasn't interested in being someone's rebound." I wheezed. Logan had officially fumbled the bag, and he knew it. But instead of taking the L gracefully, he did what sore losers always do. He doubled down. He tried to make me look like the villain. The next thing I knew, people were texting me, saying Logan had started telling everyone that I had been emotionally manipulative and that I had abandoned him when he was just joking that night at dinner. I wasn't even mad. I was amused. Because the thing about Logan, he needed to be the winner. He needed to be the one who was doing better post-breakup. And the fact that I was thriving while he was out here, getting rejected by random girls, at parties, it was killing him. So I did the only logical thing. I threw a party. A big, stupid, over-the-top, having the time of my life party. And I invited everyone, including Logan. I didn't just throw a party, I curated an experience. Emily and I planned it down to the last detail. The perfect playlist, the best drinks, the exact right guest list. It wasn't just a party, it was a public statement. Because Logan, he wanted to act like he was winning the breakup. Like I was still sitting around crying into a pint of ice cream while he moved on effortlessly. Nah, not today. The night of the party, I made sure everything was flawless. My outfit? A knockout short, sleek, effortlessly sexy. My energy? Unbothered. And the guest list? Oh, stacked. The mutual friends who had definitely told Logan about my glow up, all there. And of course, Logan himself. I didn't technically invite him, I just made sure he knew about it. And because he was that guy, the one who couldn't stand being left out of anything, he showed up. The second he walked in, I felt it. The tension, the eyes on me. The way people were watching to see what would happen. And that's when I knew I had already won. Because while Logan stood there, awkward and sulking, I was glowing, laughing, dancing, surrounded by people who actually liked me. And just to twist the knife, I made sure to be extra flirty with Jake. Nothing over the top, just enough to make Logan squirm. And boy did he squirm. At first, he tried to play it cool, pretended he was just there to have fun. But every time I so much as smiled at another guy, his entire face twitched. Emily noticed. "He looks like he just found out Santa isn't real." I smirked. "Should I be nicer?" "Absolutely not." And then, Logan snapped. I was at the drink table, casually pouring a cocktail, when I felt someone step way too close. "Logan, can we talk?" he muttered, low and urgent. I didn't even look at him. "Pretty sure we already did. I'm serious." I sighed, turning to face him. "What do you want, Logan?" His jaw clenched. "You're really doing this? Acting like I meant nothing to you?" I blinked. "Logan, you were the one who humiliated me in front of all your friends. You were the one who said I was convenient. And now that I'm not sitting around waiting for you to grow up, you suddenly care?" He exhaled sharply. I didn't think you'd move on this fast. I laughed. You thought I'd be pining? His silence was answer enough. And I could have left it there. Could have just walked away, leaving him in his own mess. But Logan needed one last reality check. So I leaned in, just close enough that he thought for half a second that I was going to say something sweet. Instead, I whispered, I moved on the second I realized I deserved better. And then I walked away. I walked away from Logan that night, and for the first time since the breakup, I'd feel even a flicker of doubt. No sadness, no regret, no lingering what-ifs, just relief. I had spent so long thinking that Logan was the best I could do, that I should be grateful to have him, that maybe all relationships had this weird, exhausting power imbalance, and I just had to accept it. But standing there, glowing, unbothered, surrounded by people who actually cared about me, I knew the truth. Loving Logan had felt like shrink-wrapping myself, like I had to make myself smaller, quieter, easier to deal with, just to keep him happy. And now, I was done with that. Of course, Logan couldn't just let me have my moment. As the party wound down, I was outside saying goodbye to people when he cornered me one last time. Are you really never going to talk to me again? He asked. His voice was quiet, almost desperate. And I won't leave for a second. I almost softened, because this was the Logan I used to love. The one who knew how to say the right things, how to pull me back in. But then I remembered he only wanted me now because he couldn't have me anymore. So I smiled, a real one, not fake, not forced. Logan, I said gently, I wish you the best, and I meant it. But wishing someone the best doesn't mean letting them back in. And just like that, I turned and walked away one last time. A year passed, a whole beautiful, Logan-free year. And let me tell you, it was the best damn year of my life. I didn't just move on. I leveled up. I landed an amazing job. I traveled. I met people who made me laugh until my stomach hurt. I dated not to fill a void, but because I was actually excited to see what else was out there. And Logan? He became nothing more than a lesson. I heard bits and pieces, how he tried to make things work with a rebound, but it fizzled out. How he complained to mutual friends that I had changed after the breakup. How deep down he knew he'd never get another chance with me. And that was the best closure I could be asked for. Because the truth is, sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's moving on so completely that the person who hurt you becomes nothing more than a funny little story you tell at brunch. And that's exactly what Logan was, a funny little story. And I was just getting started.